Okay, this is Web Suspect, and I'm doing some research, and I have here an IP address from October Rains, and he got an email from Adam Kokehead. Adam Kokehead has been caught in the past, almost all these shells have, working with Russian TV. There was some speculation for a while by myself and Caliber Hitters that this is some faction of the U.S. government working with the Russian government. So he has October Rains has information for a DSL line coming from a federal information system in Silver Spring, Maryland. So I thought I would type in the latitude and the longitude. I have the latitude and the longitude for this information system. I have a building and across the street from Silver Spring Fire Station, oriented east. I went and pulled that up in Google Maps. Alright, now this is very strange. You can research this information yourself. Just get the latitude and the longitude from October Rains email dump. Okay, we have some interesting buildings here. This one building here is called the World Building. It sort of looks like a World Bank. I wanted to get in closer on it. I was able to get in closer. It says Adams National Bank. It's a multi-level building, and it says World Building. Okay, now next to that we were looking. By the way, a lot of these buildings are for lease. There is a parking lot with a fence around it, but there's quite a few cars on it. And a sign that says for lease, it says George Blue. For lease, 301-495-7380 is the number. Anybody cares to call that. I'm suspecting this may be a cutout. Okay. Now this character, he's been ousted in quote-unquote truth movement for trying to instigate an armed march on Washington. Then he gets arrested a few weeks before, and you know, what's the speculation here? That you know, it's just a cover or something, or you know, was he arrested for real? People wanted him to back off. You know, I don't know. Okay, we do know that the website for Adam Kokehead, freeadamkokehead.com, was made 2 weeks before this all happened. This building here, these buildings, none of them are labeled what they are in the photos. The World Building says First Choice Staffing. We know that from the bottom it was labeled Adams Bank. The empty parking lot here is labeled Harlan F. Share PhD, where it's the little blue box. Nurse Finders, when we get in close, is labeled as some kind of learning center. We zoom in on that, we find a playground with kids playing. I'm not in a real hurry to call any of these numbers. This sort of reads like a government, and I'm sure it is. It reads as some kind of government daycare. The number for that is listed 301-558-3350. Something very suspicious about that government, that federal government address. Nothing matches. Let me get some different shots of the area. Here you can see the two buildings together, staggered. There's a communications on the tower on the top. I forgot to mention that. Wouldn't be uncommon for a federal building of any kind of size to have a daycare center and a communications tower. I could list several buildings that do in the area. This playground goes all the way around the building, out the back. There's a back alley. Now, I haven't gone and looked at this back alley yet. Google's been kind enough to provide us with intelligence information on the back alley. Okay. Here's the parking lot again. This side doesn't have a fence. Here's the early learning school. There's a gate. The gate is open. Not uncommon for the government to leave their back gates open. We got a sign that says Gourmet Deli Bakery behind the building that's vacant in the parking lot. This is the back of the Adams Bank and World Building. Some of the area's been dimensionally blurred. Windows are all blacked out. Oh, there's a reflection of the Google vehicle. It's a silver Subaru. Got a dumpster. Car's double parked. And that's the address for Adam Kokeheads Federal email system. Very strange. Oh, here's the address. 81 Georgia Avenue. If anybody wants to check it out. I don't know. I've seen a couple of these places that are kind of seedy. I don't know how you'd go about checking them out. One thing you could do is if they're empty, call the lease number and say you want to rent the building. But they'll ask your address and your name for that so they can contact you. Another thing you could do is just walk in and say you're lost. Can I use the bathroom? They might have, if it's a federal building, they'll probably have security guards. Well, here's another question. If it's a federal building, it should have a flag flying outside. So if you saw my video about the ammo purchase from 2 black sites and the one didn't have a flag out front, when we go by again, there's no flag out front. So this building across the street's a fire department. They have a flag out front. There we go. I'll even identify these flags for you. The one in the middle is the U.S. flag. The one on the left is the flag state of Maryland. And the right one, I don't know what it is, but it's probably for Silver Spring, Maryland. But the World Building does not have a flag. That's a pretty big communications tower they got on there. That's it. Web suspect out.